Now someone writes on the internet, "Hi, I've only been playing a few months now, but I'm a little frustrated because I'd really like to work on fingerstyle right away, and most courses barely cover this, and if they do, it is late in the curriculum. Does anybody know of any online lessons that introduce this right away while learning the chords?" Well, I've always been supporting individuality, so let's see if we can make it work. So I prepared some sweet ideas around fingerpicking that you can proudly present your friends and family later on. Even if you never dare to try to play fingerstyle, it should be manageable, so let's see. Now the first concept is kind of like an accompaniment style if you want so, but then there is that gap before it starts over again, and we fill in that gap with a sweet little melody if you want so. So let's see. The chord progression is actually like G major, E minor, C major, and D major, and then we have that fill in. And you have kind of like two choices here, and that is in general, I'd say for those kind of fingerstyle things the case. You can either hold down your chord shape that you already know. So if you already know like a G major, an E minor, C major, and so on, you can take those chord shapes and hold them down. Or instead of that, you only press down the strings that you actually need. For G major, that will be only the top string on the 3rd fret that I need for the first chord, right? So I don't need to press down all that, whichever G major you already know, but you can, or you only hold down that string here, because the other ones, the G and the B string that I play afterwards, they're open strings. So what I do here is I play the top E string here, and then G and B, and then G again. And I do that with those 3 fingers here. So thumb, index, middle, index. And while I'm doing that, notice that I have my ring finger rested on the on the bottom E string here, on the high E string. So this is my anchor point here, and I have 2 things that are where that ring finger helps me here. First thing is it gives me some stability, so it feels a bit more stable, other than doing it all in the air. And also I have like a reference point where all those strings are. That helps too. And that's actually a 3rd point with which it helps, which is I can't go that far away from the string, so I can't do that, which is what I see a few beginners do. So I would recommend try it at least. So have your ring finger rested on the high E string, and then you can play the whole thing here, the whole first concept. So let's move on. So G major, and then it's E minor. And actually, you can hold your chord shape down, as I said, but you don't need to because you don't play those strings anyway. So you can play all open strings, same strings, by the way. So E, G, B, G. And then we go to C major. Same thing here. We don't need the middle finger, so you can leave it out, or you put it on the fretboard if you already know C major. And here we have to go to the A string because this is where the bass note is, where the C is in that chord. Same strings other than that. And then D major, we have to go down again with the thumb on the right hand side to D string. And now it's the time for that first fill in, which looks like that. So what I do here on the B string, I'm already on the 3rd fret from my D major chord shape. And then I slide to the 5th fret. I go back. Play the B open string, and then B is done. We move to the G string, 2nd fret, and then open string. So let's have a look again. 3rd fret B string, slide to the 5th, back to that fret where we came from, open string. That's all B string, and then G string, 2nd fret, and open string. And then it starts over again. So let's have a look at the first round. First one, and it starts over again. It starts the same way: G, E minor, C major, and then D, all the same, and then a different fill in here. 2 slides on the B string, so 3rd to 5th fret, all ring finger, and then I play an harmonic here on the 12th fret. If you never did that before, it's you do like that. So you don't press down the string like you usually would. You lightly touch the string right above the fret where you have the 12th fret. So right above that metal thing, not where you usually finger that fret here. And then you touch lightly there, pluck the string, and you get that flageolet sound. So let's have a look at the 2 rounds in slow. So have a look at concept number 2. So not only does that sound good, it's also a great exercise, especially for beginners, because what I did here was I played one finger picking pattern here on the right hand side, and once I got that down, I don't have to think about it that much anymore. And then for the left hand, I lifted one finger at a time, I put another one on the fretboard, things like that. So let's have a look at the finger picking pattern first. So we're only playing the middle 4 strings, not both E strings. And what I do here is I have my ring finger rested on that high E string as my anchor point, as I said. And what I do now is with the thumb and the middle finger, I play A and B string together, and then I play D and G string with my thumb and index separately, then A and B separately, and D and G again separately. That's it. Let's do it again. So A, B together, D, G, A, B, D, G. That's the pattern. So this goes under the name Travis picking pattern, although there are a few different patterns that go under the same name. It's worth learning anyway. It's the same as in Dust in the Wind, and you can use it for all kinds of songs. So I highly recommend you learn that pattern. What I did with the left hand here is I had my ordinary C chord. I played that pattern, and then just like in Dust in the Wind, I lifted the index, and then different from Dust in the Wind, I lifted the ring finger, and then I put the index back on, and then my ring finger back on, and I'm back to C major to the start. Lift the index, lift the ring finger, put the index back on, put the ring finger back on. So that's what I played in that kind of concept. But you can't always try that with a different chord. Try to see what does it sound like if I lift that finger, if I lift that finger, or if I put in a finger on a different spot, and just try to make it sound. What you can also do with those middle 4 strings is you can take your C major and move that 2 frets to the right. That is a beautiful chord. And you can play the same pattern here. Listen to that beautiful chord and go back and forth here. That will be another great exercise for beginners as well. So this idea is very beginner friendly too. I show you the right hand pattern first, and what you can always do to really focus on the right hand is mute those strings just by touching them lightly here, all the strings, so that you get that muted sound, and then you play that pattern here for your right hand. That also works for strumming as well. That's what I play. So the A string with the thumb, and then the high 3 strings here, E, B, G, E, B, G. I do that with those 3 fingers. So ring, middle, index. That's the pattern. I repeat that over and over again. And then for the left hand, what I did was I was on the A string, 3rd fret. I have my middle finger here. And I'm on the high E string, 3rd fret as well with the ring finger. And then for the last 3 notes, I lift the ring finger on the left hand side and play open strings. Lift the finger. And I do the exact same thing on the 5th fret. Lift the finger. Exact same thing on the 7th fret. And then I repeat it there. That's the idea. And the cool thing is, you're not only limited to those spots here. I only can encourage you try that on different spots on the guitar here. Some are very consonant, like those ones that we pick now, 7th, 5th, and 3rd fret. Very consonant, but they're dissonant as well, so listen to that. 4th fret is very dissonant, but it's actually cool if you're coming from the 5th fret, 4th, and then 3rd fret. That's a great tension release going on here. But also like 2nd fret, listen to that. Great chord, even if you go back and forth, 2nd and 3rd fret. So there are all kinds of cool musical ideas in that with doing the exact same thing on both hands. So explore the fretboard here. Now this idea is more focused on the melody, so let's have a look at the melody separately. It goes like that, 1st fret B string, then we would take like the 3rd fret with the ring finger usually, but we can't because the ring finger later on is busy with the bass line. So we have to take the little finger instead, and then the open E string, and as we can we go back, 3rd fret, 1st fret, and again 3rd fret. It's the first half of the melody. So 1st, 3rd, open string, 3rd, 1st, and 3rd. And the bass line for that is like A string, 3rd fret, A string, open string, and then 3rd fret, E string. So that's both combined, right? So let's try that. And then the second half goes like that. We start as we did with the first half. So 1st fret here and 3rd fret on the A string. Again, 3rd fret B string. But then it's different. We go back with the melody to that fret here, 1st fret, plus 3rd fret on the D string. And then middle finger does that on the G string, 2nd and open string, back to the start. So let's do that again, second half. Now I know sometimes it's not that obvious, and I'll show you a close-up in a second. And as you know, if you need any help with your guitar playing, then check out highguitar.com, where you can get one-on-one lessons. I understand how frustrating it is to be enthusiastic about guitar playing, but not know where to start, what to do next, which video to watch, and all that. And that's why every month I help dozens of people just like you to learn guitar quickly, and I'd love to do the same for you. I hope you enjoyed this video with the new setup. I'm very happy with that, and I'm sure you might like this video here. Watch this next.